Gauravata Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radha. Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radha. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha. Jaya Radha Bharineshwara Radha Bharineshwara Radha. Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Ram. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva. Shri Shri Radha Madan Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Bharanish Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Bhagwan ki jai. Jai Ho Vishnupada Paramahams Parivrajakacha Stotra Divine Grace. Abhay Shanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Ho Vishnupada Paramahams Parivrajakacha Stotra Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Thakur ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय. वृंदावन मधुर गोकुल द्वारका धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुर धाम की जय. नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय. गंगा में यमुनामयी की जय. भक्ति देव तुलसी देवी की जय. समेत भक्त वृंद की जय. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to assemblies, all glories to assemblies, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Minitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rugadamayyam Dadati Stapadantikam. Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yuthapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubheshya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Hare Krishna. On behalf of ISKCON Bahrain, we welcome all the devotees who are attending this class here to Srimad Bhagavatam session. So we are continuing our regular routine classes, which was being done on Friday morning. So currently we are in the session of Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 30th chapter. We'll be starting shloka number 1, but we have been studying from chapter 20, 21 about the pastimes of Lord Kapila, or the teachings of Lord Kapila. So today we'll start this verse. I will read the verse, translation, and the purport, and then we will try to understand the history, because it's almost 6 months we have lost contact with this particular episode. So we will try to revive it, and then we will continue. Hare Krishna. Kapilauvaca tasyaitasya jano nunam nayam vedur vikramam kalyamano pibalino vayuriva ganavalihi. Kapilauvaca tasyaitasya jano nunam nayam vedur vikramam kalyamano pibalino vayuriva ganavalihi. Kapilauvaca tasyaitasya jano nunam Nayam Vidur Vikramam Ganyamano Pibalino Vayuriva Ganavalihi. Gopijana Prabhu, can you please recite?
Prabhu is muted, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Shall I?
Yeah, please, Prabhu.
Kapilauvaca tasyaitasya jano nunam nayam vidoru vikramam kalyamano apipalino vayo iva ganavali.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. What's meaning?
Shall I read that?
No, I will read now. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Kapilauvaca, Lord Kapila said, Tasya etasya, of this very time factor, Jana, person, Nunam, certainly, Na, not, I am, this Veda knows, Uru Vikramam, the great strength, Kalyamanha, being carried off, Api, although Balina, powerful, Vayoho, of the wind, Iva, like, Ghana, of clouds, Avilihi, a mass. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, the personality of Godhead said, as a mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of the time factor by which he is being carried. Hare Krishna. Now the purport. The great politician Pandita named Chanakya said that even one moment of time cannot be returned, even if one is prepared to pay millions of dollars. One cannot calculate the amount of loss there is in wasting valuable time. Either material or spiritually, one should be very alert in utilizing the time which he has at his disposal. A conditioned soul lives in a particular body for a fixed measurement of time, and it is recommended in the scriptures that within that small measurement of time, one has to finish Krishna consciousness and thus gain release from the influence of the time factor. But unfortunately, those who are not in Krishna consciousness are carried away by the strong power of time without their knowledge, as clouds are carried by the wind. Thus, and the translation purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitame Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jai Pataka Swami Nityanamine. Namaha Acharya Padaya Nityaya Kripa Pradayane Gaurakata Damadaya Nagragram Tarine. Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachar Nirvishe Shunyavad Pashyate Deshatari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Achanam Mangam Nangete Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Vancha Kalpatarubhya Kripa Sindhu Bheva Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanayataya Cha Jagadityaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Govindaya Namo Govindaya Namo Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamadine Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajam Anandalila Maya Vigrahaya Chaitanya Chandra Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namaste Krishna. The personality of Godhead said, as a mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness does not know the powerful strength of the time factor by which he is being carried. So this verse is spoken by Lord Kapila to his mother Dehavati, wife of Kardamamani, daughter of Swayambhu Manu. So how we have reached up to here, we'll just go back to history to understand why this teaching is essential. What were the questions of Mother Dehavati and how does it really applicable in our lives? So we'll understand as from these teachings. So basically, Lord Brahma created Manus to increase the progeny by marriage. In Srimad Bhagavatam, particularly this episode, you will understand this chapter, which is chapter 21 of 3rd Canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Brahma's different creations are given. So we will understand that generally what we see in the material world, to procreate, we need father and mother in any species for that matter. Male and female is required. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Lord Brahma, secondary created, he himself did not have father and mother because he is born out of the navel of the Lord. Lord is that in Vedas as well as we see that there are many generations or many creations where father and mother was not necessary. Like we understand Draupadi and Drishtadyumna came out of fire, Mother Sita was playing in the ground, she got. So there were, and Mother Kunti also got children from demigods. So we see by the blessings of the demigods. So there are certain, our Lord Shiva created the demon by his hair. So we see from Vedas that it's not necessary to create a father and mother is essential. So Brahma was also creating from his body, from the shadow, from his face, from his different parts of his body, from his mind, sages. So in different way he was creating the second creator or Brahma. But when he was not totally satisfied and he was keep on creating. And then he created the Manus. You know, there are 14 Manus to increase the progeny, but by marriage. So it's very important here that Manus were created by Lord Brahma to increase the progeny by marriage. So that when we say marriage, then we should understand here is that because the progeny has to be continued by a marriage, there will be relationship between man and woman or male and female. That means there is certain degree of sense gratification is there. So now the whole episode of this episode of teachings of Lord Kapila is focused on this, that when we are forced to be engaged in the senses, activity of the senses for the purpose of progeny, for the particular ashram or themselves, and get self-realization. The whole teachings of Lord Kapila is focused on this. So that's how we will see. That's the reason we are going back to the small history, that how we will be understanding that even though we are entering into this ashram of marriage, how we can get liberation and what are the path of self-realization is being taught in this particular episode. So here, Lord Brahma created Manus to increase the progeny by marriage, and Lord Brahma instructed his son Kardama Muni to marry and beget children. So the sages were actually created by Lord Brahma before the Manus also. So when he created the sages, he asked them also to marry and increase the progeny. So Kardama Muni, it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam in 3:20-2 that Kardama Muni was actually created by Lord Brahma by his face. And later also in 24th chapter, you'll understand that Lord Brahma himself addresses Kardama Muni that I'm very happy with you as my son. So he asked Kardama Muni to marry and beget children. And then Kardama Muni practiced penance on the bank of river Saraswati for a period of 10,000 years. When Lord Brahma asked Kardama Muni to get married and increase the progeny, Kardama Muni did not immediately act on that. He went for actual austerities in the river of Saraswati. So now, here, since Lord Brahma, Kardama Muni is directly the son of Lord Brahma, and Brahma also in this episode it's mentioned in the purports that Brahma is as good as personified of Vedas, and Vedas. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta matta smriti jnanamapohanamsha vedesha sarvir ham vedi vedant kritved vedecham. So Brahma's personality is for the purpose of understanding Krishna. Because Brahma is, as it is mentioned, there is person Vedas and all the Brahma, the Vedas came, even though it came from Krishna, but it is given to us by Lord Brahma in the Parampara. Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya Parampara. So here, Kardama Muni being son of Lord Brahma also knew the purpose of Lord Brahma's instruction, why he has to get married. That means the progeny which he has to get must be encouraging to get Krishna conscious, to get liberation from this material existence. Because along with the sages, Lord Brahma created the demons and different species. That species were very harmful to material. Like this material nature, these mnemonic spaces are there. people will not be realizing the importance of this material existence. So Lord Brahma already created the demons and different species like snakes, birds. In other words, what we can understand that there was a creation in the mode of goodness, creation in the mode of passion, and creation in the mode of ignorance. All these were taking place, and when the sages were created by Lord Brahma, that is the where he asked them to create the progeny. And the sages could understand what was the reason behind Brahma's asking to create progeny in order to, for all the creation Lord Brahma to take Krishna consciousness. So he goes for penance 10,000 years, and then when his penance was perfect, Lord Vishnu appears by the meditation Kardama Muni and pleased by his austerities. So we hear that Kardama Muni, his austerity was so great, pure, got perfection, that Lord Vishnu. So it also mentions in this episode that this Lord Vishnu who appeared was the same Vishnu who killed Madhu and Kaitapa. So Madhusudana also, Arjuna mentions in Srimad Bhagavatam Gita many places, oh Madhusudana, the one who killed demon Madhu. So Prabhupada writes there that Madhu is like many doubts in our mind. So when Arjuna refers to the Lord as Madhusudana, he is referring to that all the doubts which were in Arjuna's mind, the Lord should dissipate. The same way here, when the Lord Vishnu who killed Madhu and Kaitapa appeared Kardama Muni, that means that whatever flaws in the marriage will be there, that will not be there because of the Lord's being pleased by his austerities. And then Kardama Muni is a very, very important here. He says the Lord would not have gone to austerity and asking material benediction for momentary pleasures from the Lord is unintelligent, but he desired to marry to fulfill his sense desires, because unless one sense desire, of course, the power of mantra, power of this can be, but here the purpose. Prabhuji, can you hear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, Kardamoni expressed Lord Vishnu that after performing austerities for thousands of years, and that you become pleased by the austerity that you personally appear, and when you appear asking for material benedictions is very unintelligent way. And particularly, Kardamoni admits that I do have desire for sensual pleasures, and this is not something very good for somebody who has surrendered unto you. So this is very, we understand the definition of pure devotional service. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma anavratam anukulena krishnam shilanam bhakti uttama. That the pure devotional service should be devoid of any desires, any desire. So here Kardamani admits to the Lord that yes, you appeared, but my desire also, you know what is the desire. But the Lord is actually very pleased by the Lord. The Lord said, my dear Rishi, O leader of the living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you who have given up everything unto me, there is never any question of frustration. So this is a shloka where the Lord himself is saying Srimad Bhagavatam, where it is giving a guarantee. The word of the Lord cannot go in vain, giving a guarantee that whatever austerities we perform for the pleasure of the Lord, irrespective of a material condition or material consciousness or impurities or our contaminated stage, If the Lord is happy by our endeavor to please Him, please Guru, the parampara, then obviously the Lord says here that those who are worshipping me, especially person like you, that means the devotees, because Lord here, Kardama Mani is doing on the authority of Lord Brahma. So when we engage in devotional service of the Lord to please the Lord on the authority of our Guru, Parampara and Vaishnavas, he says there is no question of any frustration. Now, frustration can be seen from many points, but here what we are discussing is that frustration from the spiritual point, that whatever a little service we do to please Krishna, to Vaishnavas, Sri Guru, will never go in vain. Frustration comes when we don't see the result, but in spiritually, always there will be result will be there. So then, meantime, what happens on the other side, Swayambhu Manu also been instructed by Lord Brahma that he had 5 children, 2 sons, Uttanapada and Priyavrata, and 3 daughters, Devahuti, Prashruti and Akuti. So Swayambhu Manu has been instructed by Lord Brahma that his daughter Devahuti should be married to Kardama Muni. And on receiving this instruction, also he takes his wife Shatarupa and daughter Devahuti and comes to the ashram of Kardama Muni. Lord says to Devahuti, Hare Krishna, now this goes further actually, because I'm not taking all the shloka. So what happens is, here, Devahuti is blessed. Now this is Devavati's blessing, that she will have 9 daughters, and the Lord himself will appear as their son to teach the ultimate principles of devotional service. So this is the words of the Lord to Kardama Muni. The Lord says Devavati will have 9 daughters, and Lord himself will appear as their son to teach the ultimate principles of devotional service. So now we are after 22 now, the marriage of Kardama Muni and Devavati. So here, so in the before chapter 21, so it's already decided that Kardama Muni will be marrying Devavati, and Devavati will bear 9 daughters, will be married to great sages, and then also she will bear Lord Vishnu as her son, or as their son Kardama and Devavatis, who will teach the Sankhya philosophy, the science of self-realization. So here, chapter 22, Manu told Kardama Muni, that means Swayambhu Manu told Kardama Muni that Devavati heard from Narada Muni and desired to marry Kardama Muni. Meantime, it so happens that Narada Muni also had instructed Mother Devavati about Kardama Muni. These are all arrangement of the Lord. And like Rukmini heard from Narada Muni about Lord Shri Krishna and she desired to marry, the same way Devhuti also heard about Kardama Muni from Narada and she about Kardama from Narada and she desired to marry. Now here, this has got a very important understanding here. The reason is Swayambhuva Manu was the emperor of the world and Devhuti was the princess. She was brought up in very opulent environment. But Kardama Muni was also son of Brahma, but he was a sage. And he had a life of full austerity. And we will understand as in 21 chapter that Kardama Muni never compromised with this austerity, even though he was willing to marry. That was there, his personal commitment. So here, Narada Muni, when instructed about Kardama Muni, Devhuti, even though she was from the family of the king, Swayambhuva Manu, emperor, but still she desired to marry. Kardama Muni agrees for the marriage with the condition that his devotional service to the Supreme Lord will continue. So this is actually the condition with the Lord, because we have to go in the sequence only. That it is not that Kardama Muni, even though he was asked to get married by the Lord as well as by Lord Brahma, that he never wanted to forget his devotion service because of the marriage. Usually what we see in the Varnashrama Dharma also, that Brahmacharya is there, Grahastha is there, Vanaprastha is there, and Sannyasa is there. Grahastha ashram, of course, there are, if Krishna is not in the center of the family, then there is every chance that the family or the Krishna consciousness may not be in the proper position. So that is the risk in the Grahastha ashram. If Krishna is not in the center, if there is no devotees association, then the Krishna consciousness of the Purva ashram, that means in the Brahmacharya ashram, may be at risk. So, like we understand, the four Kumaras, they never wanted to enter into Grahastha ashram. Sukadeva Goswami, when he was in the womb, he simply left from the mother's womb. So they never wanted to associate with the material nature. The Kardama Muni, also the son of Brahma, he knew the consequences in the Grahastha ashram. So, but he was determined that my service to the Lord should continue, and he shows that later. Then now we will try to understand the qualities of Mother Dehavati and Kardama Muni. For the reason is that why Lord Vishnu, the killer of Madhu and Kaitanya, appeared as their son. So what was their qualities that made the Lord to appear? Now this is also very important for us, is that how our life in Krishna conscious determines also. So that how the life should be. So we understand from this Mother Dehavati and Kardama, their personal qualities, what qualities they had that the Lord had to appear. Now, of course, these qualities are very exceptional. We may not find in ourselves, but definitely we will be, when we understand these qualities, it's not that we cannot practice it. Definitely we can endeavor, definitely we can try. And when we do that, definitely our progress is like that. Nice qualities what we see here. So Hare Krishna. So first, the qualities of Mother Dehavati. So here what we see, she was a chaste wife. So those devotees who are attending, we don't have many devotees, but those are attending, we know what is chaste. Chaste means she is totally committed to her husband. She never thinks of any other man. This is chaste. And then we have Devati could understand the desires of her husband. So this is from this particular qualities of Dehavati, she could understand. She could get the perfection of her life, which is to get the Lord as her son, simply because of her desire to serve her husband. This was her quality. That she simply desires, Devati could understand desires her husband means her only desire was how to please her husband. And that particular determination which she had, because she heard from Narada Muni the qualities of Kardama Muni, then even though she was princess, she abandoned that opulent life, she accepted Kardama Muni as her husband, and she was very determined to serve her husband. And here, that she could understand the desire, that means whatever the husband desired, she would fulfill. In Puranas also we will see many times, the wives fail to understand the desire of her husband, and then they were cursed also. Like we know Lord Rama, he liberated Ahalya, failing to understand the desire of the husband. In that particular moment, of course, the leelas of the Lords are there. And then served her husband constantly with great love, with intimacy and great respect. So here constantly means non-stop, then great love. Love means, as we know, here love means it's not the love due to the relationship with as the husband and wife. Love means whatever Kardama Muni was performing in the austerity, she had full devotion for the austerity. And she made sure that the Kardama Muni did not had any lack of service from her. That's the expression of love. And then intimacy means that she was closely associated with this austerity, that he never felt anything short, and great respect, because usually a new married wife may desire many things, but here Mother Devati was totally out of her own desires. She controlled her senses, because we'll understand that she desired a child. She desired, but still she never expressed, neither she shown it. And then she served with love and with sweet words, and she worked sanely and diligently. She pleased her very powerful husband, giving up all lust, pride, envy, greed, sinful activities, and vanity. These are all part of the shlokas from in the 23rd chapter, from 1 to 3. Our qualities are mentioned. Sanely means actually sensible, understanding the time, place, circumstance, what is required, and accordingly serving. Diligently means without any flaws. And then she pleased her very powerful husband. Now, the powerful husband is a very important word here, because the power of austerity of Kardama Muni was unimaginable. We will come to know from Kardama Muni is spiritual power only. He was very powerful. And she given up all lust, because is that when you are when one is intimately serving the other, definitely there are opportunities for impetus to lust, but she was never. That means the austerity which Kardama Muni was performing, she was equally performing the austerity. Then pride, that means even though she was the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, she never had that pride being a princess. Then envy, greed, sinful activities, and vanity. Of course, now she was serving her husband. So envy, greed, sinful activity, vanity, it is basically, this was not there. That's why all the good qualities were developed in her. And then qualities of Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni was one of the Prajapati progenerator. So in text 5, it's mentioned it's a progenitor. Progenitor means one must be engaged in creating children, but he was not attached to it. Then free from false ego. That means he was never in bodily concept. Basically, in our devotional service, the parameter for our advancement in spiritual life usually understood from one of the angle, one of the perspective. This is not general statement. This is a case-to-case statement. One of the measurement that we see, that how do we advance in spiritual life? So Prabhupada's statement is one of the parameter that we can look into is that how much we come out of the desire for material sense gratification, bodily concept. That is the part that we advance in spiritual life. Like I was reading few days back in our preachers group, I believe, somebody was sharing about in the Bhagavad Gita recitation. I'm giving an example to understand how this case applies in our own lives. In our own lives, for us to practice and understand, but what we have seen by our Goswamis. So the song was O Vaishnava Thakura, that song is there, Dayara Sagara. So they quoted this and they are saying, we are seeing this from this personality. Basically, it was very nice to read, and I was thinking about this when it was quoted that for a Vaishnava, the qualities of a Vaishnava, how it is addressed. There, what we see, actually, this song, it's referred to that Vaishnava, that he doesn't have to desire anything, neither he has to give anything. Madhavendra Puri, when he desired that I should offer this milk rice, the sweet milk rice to the Lord stole the milk I gave him. He only desired in his mind that I should serve you, and he gave him. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ananya Chinta Yantomam Ejana Paripas Tesam Nityavittana Yoga Kshema Mahamya. What my devotee have, I preserve. What my devotee do not have, I give him. So, in our sixth Goswami Vrindavan also will see this, that when a devotee desires, whether he desires for himself, for others, or he want to give, it is the Lord who does when we reach that platform of devotion service. We don't have to desire that, oh, I desire that it should happen. This is false. Actually, this is free from false yoga means when we identify ourselves even in devotional service or in material, that is not a very good advancement in spiritual life or to be called as a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means is totally dependent on the mercy of the Lord. The Lord will act on that part of the devotee. Of course, it's a long way to go, but we are still associating with among our God brother, God sisters, and definitely we look forward to come to that platform where we always see from the point of serving the Lord, but also it doesn't mean that we expect the service from the Lord. This is also not a good thing to expect, but the Lord will fulfill what is required for us. That is what is an Vaishnava's call. Vaishnava's position is that he, even though he desires, of course, he is para dukkha dukhi and para sukha sukhi. That means he desires all. When somebody is in distress, he is also distressed. When somebody is happy, he is also happy. This is his quality. So here, his desire is always to good to others, but at the same time, personally, he will not desire anything for himself. One of this is like pride. So here, false yoga comes that when we identify ourselves. So Kardamani was free from it. And then free from material affection. That means, of course, he was free from material affection, but he got affection to his wife when she was serving him sincerely. Then he got affected. That means when one is serving Krishna and his devotees, one must become affection to them. That is showing. And then undisturbed and calm. That means Kardama Muni was actually, he was young. Actually, we understand that the situation arises as such during their marriage, because undisturbed calm is very important to understand here, that when the marriage, when Kardama Muni becomes so pleased with his wife Dehuti, that how she was serving, and her body actually become very weak, lean, and she lost her luster. And Kardama becomes so compassionate on her, then he regenerates her. He asks her to take a bath in the pond, in that Bindu Sarovara. There is a pond, and she has been served by thousands of maids, and she brought back a very beautiful maid. And it is mentioned there that when she came out, and when he created that aerial mention, when she came back with all that beautiful maids, and their maids were from Gandharvas. They are not ordinary maids. So Kardama Muni never got affected by the beauty of these maids. We can understand. He was so, I mean, he had, even though he made his wife so beautiful, and that wife had so many beautiful maid servants, but Kardama Muni always remained undisturbed. Even to the attraction to his wife was very, very undisturbed to in the sense contamination. It was very pure to get the Lord. He was so pure. And then equal to everyone. Sama sarveshu bhutam bhaktim labate param. So Kardama Muni, everyone, this is in the, if we insist Gostam, six Shad Gostam Ashtakam, in that we will understand that the Rufins and devotees, that they were all equal. Equal means they see from the point how one is related to Krishna. This is the only one they see. Equal to seeing everyone equal means one is seeing the relationship with Krishna, not their external feature, whatever they are. Like good example is like Prahlad Maharaj, even though he was attempted to kill by his father, still he saw him as a part and parcel of Krishna. He said, pardon him. And then without duality, that means no happiness, distress, cold, heat. So this is duality. So he was not in duality. And that seeing himself. So Kardama Muni here always we see from his life's character, he always saw that he is part and parcel of Krishna, and his only life was dedicated to keep that relationship. He never deviated from that. And then seeking inwards. So seeking inwards means, we'll understand later, Kardama Muni, after his daughters were born, he wanted to leave the house. Then, of course, on the request of Mother Dehavati, his wife, he stayed back. And also Kardama Muni could remember that the Lord has instructed him that he will be appearing as his son. So after the birth of the 9 daughters, before the birth of Lord Kapila, Kardama Muni instructs Mother Dehavati to perform austerity. So when both of them, they performed austerity, then only the Lord appeared. So seeking inwards means whatever situation, external situation he had by the marriage, but he was always focused on serving the Lord. And perfectly calm like an ocean, unagitated by the waves. So this is one of the examples that we see in the teachings there, is that even though Mother Dehavati had thousands of beautiful maids, but he never attracted by any of these beauties. And now we will also understand that by understanding the quality of Kardama Muni, what made him to renounce when the Lord was in his own house, like Lord Kapila is the Supreme Lord himself. Lord Shri Krishna declares in the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam Gita, among the perfected beings, sages, I am Lord Kapila. He says, so here Kardama Muni, when the Lord is at home, why you should take renunciation, like we as grastas, we keep the Lord's deity in our home. Of course, they are known different from the Lord, and we serve with love and devotion. Then when Kardama Muni had the Lord himself in his house, why should he leave the house? Why should he take renunciation? So there are, again, these are not the limited to these explanations. There may be many. I just took few. To follow the Vedic instruction of Daivi Varnashrama Dharma. That means the Lord has taken the position of the Son. The Lord, the Supreme Lord himself has taken the position of the son of Kardama Muni and Mother Dev. That means the Lord also is being part of that Daivi Varnashrama Dharma. The Lord did not take the position of the Supreme Lord in the house of Mother Dehavati and Kardama Muni. He did not take that supreme position. He served them as their son. So when the Lord takes the position of the son in the Daivi Varnashrama Dharma, then Kardama Muni also took the position of the Daivi Varnashrama Dharma, that when his duties are finished in the Grahastha Ashrama, immediately left that. So it was actually following the Vedic injunctions, religious principles. Then the Lord, as time, will make us renounce anyway. So that is why in our Daivi Varnashrama Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, there are different stages in our life. And those who are following the Vedic injunctions, they will follow. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, in the Kali Yuga, we are not supposed to take sannyas, but the way of living in Krishna conscious, it is a part of renounced life only. Actually, I would share something which I remember to my best of my knowledge. A few years back, when Naimisharanya was in Adliya, near behind HSBC. So that time, Purushottam month was approaching, or Kartik, one of the two, because I only remember the instruction of Guru Maharaj. The time, the place I know, but not the time, whether it's Kartik or Purushottam, I cannot remember. So that time, Guru Maharaj was saying that for devotees, those who are following, the devotees were following, I mean, our parampara devotees who are following the 4 regulatory principles, chanting, who are engaged in devotional service of the Lord according to our sadhana bhakti. For them, Purushottama month and Kartik month, to make sure that they do it perfectly, and this month are for them to give to others. Yes, or in a way, what Guru Maharaj is saying, that is the time we should be more focused on making our sadhana perfect. That means our daily chanting of our Mahamantra 16 rounds, which now the temple management has made from 4:30. those who are taking that advantage, they are really great, and they are going to accumulate immense benefit out of it, the mercy of Guru and Krishna. There is no doubt about those who are really chanting from the morning. And of course, those who are not attending doesn't mean they do not finish, but it's a very auspicious time. What I could see from the temple has made a facility that what we are supposed to follow on a daily sadhana, like chanting the holy name, that facility has been made from 4:30. By 6:30 they can finish 16 rounds. So this is what Guru Maharaj is saying, that first you make sure the sadhana which you are supposed to do, you do it. Then we have following the 4 regulative principles. So obviously when we do that, the benefit of the additional ashtad which you are supposed to follow automatically comes in line, because we serve this. Now from Kardama Muni and Devavati, we are understanding here that they entered into the Grahastha ashrama to get the Lord as their son. So we are also, when we follow these 4 regulative principles of no illicit sex, no intoxicant, no meat eating, no gambling, when you do that in a more stricter way during these 2 months, that means as good as it's performing all the other austerities. It's as good as that. But if our time allows, because we are grastas, we are working, but if we have more time, definitely all other extra process, like now we introduced also Bhagavad Gita recitation, there are daily classes hearing. So the hearing also, when we hear, now we actually don't get a break to hear, but one thing also we have to keep in mind, yes, hearing is necessary, Shravanam is very, very important, but Shravanam also should follow by action. Like I always give this example, Parikshit Maharaj, he had a definite prophecy or the curse that after 7 days he is going to die. And in 7 days his perfection was hearing, because anyway he's going to die, and anyway he gone back to Krishna. But the same way Arjuna also heard from Krishna, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, but for Arjuna he has to follow that with action. That means whatever was instructed to Arjuna by Krishna, Krishna has to follow. Then the first thing was to fight. So he has to follow the same way for us. As now we are in a particular ashram. We are brahmacharis now, nor we are vanaprastha or sannyasis. For as the grahasthas, we have so many responsibilities. So the first and foremost for us, that whatever we hear, it should also be into action. And what is our action? Nothing more. Our action is that our chanting should be done, number 1. Number 2, that we should have minimum, at least a minimum time of the day for hearing about the Lord. And then also we should be some recitation of prayers every day we should do. Of course, following the 4 regular principles, very essential. Some prayers reciting, because whatever deficiency in our chanting or in our reading, understanding, in our hearing, when we offer prayers, like we used to have special prayers for the devotees, then the Lord becomes very, very merciful. Then he will make it perfect. And by doing all this, anyway, the influence of the time is always there, which is a Purushottama month, and which is Kartik month, which is going to come. The influence is there. So when we do what we are supposed to do in our day routine time perfectly, then the benefit, it multiplies more. Then we can add additional ones so that it's got an extra benefit. So what we are trying to understand is that here the Lord as time will, Hare Krishna, what I want to say, Guru Maharaj had that instruction saying that first make strict what you're supposed to for daily sadhana, then keep adding what is extra, so that what we are committed, we can get in much, the result of what we committed will get a benefit. Hare Krishna. So we go back to Kardama Muni's, this one, the Lord as time will make us to renounce anyway. So we know that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Karosmi and Sarvaharasham, that I, as a time, I take away everything. So this is, Kardama Muni had that full knowledge that even though the Lord is at home, but still that the time will come that he has to leave. And then Kardama served Lord in the servitorship and avoided Vatsalya. That means even though the Lord appeared as his son, and by default he was supposed to serve in Vatsalya as parental relationship, but he avoided, he always servitorship. The reason is, we will understand also, when the Lord Kapila appeared, the Lord and Kardaman, they speak in a very isolated place, both of them. The Lord says for what purpose he has appeared, and Kardama also says that what purpose he has got in life. Both of them, they share each other. It is not that because the Lord has accepted the position of the son of Kardama Muni, or because the Kardama Muni become the father of the Supreme Lord, they never, both of them, they never identified as it is. Even Mother Dehavati. Now we will understand in the coming chapter, even Mother Dehavati also addressed the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Sudarshan Dari Prabhu raised a hand. Hare Krishna. Prabhu will have question answer. Yes, I am concluding now after this.
By mistake.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So I will be, because it's 9 o'clock now, I will be concluding here. So we will go in detail that now we are in the 24th, I mean, these are mixed, but we are in the 22nd chapter, 23rd chapter. So we have to come till the 30th chapter. It will be not as much as this, because there only the important shloka which was discussed of the chapter will be discussed. So I will be concluding here. So as the temple management allocates the classes, I will be continuing further. So before we go to the, my request with Kirtanesha Prabhu and His Grace Radhago Prabhu was that before we continue the shloka again of the previous chapters, it is better we recap all what we have been hearing, because 6 months means a long time. And definitely we have been hearing from great Vaishnavas of our parampara, our current Vaishnavas, very Vaishnavas, deep knowledge about Krishna consciousness. But at the same time, I would like quote my personal example. I don't know for how many it will apply. When we go to Dham, when we stay 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, or even 1 week. So we take the prasadam of the Dham, and after some time, even the prasadam, of course, it's always good. It is always, I mean, there is no need to say anything of prasadam, but still back of our mind, we will think, when I'll go back to my original diet, which is my, from birth, from Krishna conscious birth, which we are practicing, when I will go back to that. So we'll think like that, because we don't cook in Dham, we don't cook and eat. Of course, when we don't have house, we depend on all the other prasadam, but still we desire go back. The same way, all the classes which we have been hearing for the last 6 months, like Dham prasadam, different Dham devotees are coming and they are glorifying the Lord. But still we need our own prasadam, which we have been eating for all the time. So now we have made this arrangement Thursday evening that we'll continue our regular classes. And before we continue to the shloka which we are currently supposed to be taking, we'll have a brief history of our previous classes, what we studied of this particular episode of Mother Dehavati and Kardama Muni, and then we'll come to our current shloka. With that, I'll conclude, and I think there are Sudarshan Dari Prabhu has questions. If I can answer, I'll definitely try to endure by Guru's mercy. Hare Krishna. Pancha kalpataro bhishya kripa sindhubhyo paritanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhu. By mistake, I raised my hand. Sorry. Hare well.
Yeah. If any devotees have any questions, any doubts, any corrections also, please do so before we conclude. So I'll chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If there is no sound coming, then we are concluding it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, Sudarshan Sudarshanadhari Vasudeva Prabhu has rightly raised the hand that saying that you continue all these summaries till the today's shloka.
Hare Krishna. If you bless me, Prabhu, bless me, yes. Definitely. It's a blessing to continue.
You have to bless us. Hare Krishna. We are blessed already. Thank you, Prabhu.
Mangala Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I can see you, because what happened now? Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. So Kirtanesh Prabhu, back to you. You can make the announcement and we can conclude. Hare.
No, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. First of all, we'd like to thank you, Prabhuji, for accepting our request. So it was a very short time. I requested very late, and you accepted it. So yes, Prabhu, you can continue with your permission. I'm just telling that you can continue, Prabhu, next week also to reach up to this the 30th chapter. So you can do the recap again, Prabhu, the next week. We'll continue, Prabhu. So we request all the devotees. We request all the devotees, please come and join at 8 o'clock. So we'll continue again listening from Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Vardhagopal Prabhu is there. Vardhagopal Prabhu, any announcements, Prabhu, for tomorrow?
He's not there.
I think he joined.
Prabhu had Tamil class. No, he had Tamil class. He's joining late. Got late. So. Yes.
Anyway, if Prabhu is not there, then we just request the devotees to attend tomorrow morning. We have a Japa session, starts at 4:30 as Prabhu has announced already. So we request all the devotees, please attend the 4:30 Japa session, and it will continue till we have Darshan Arti at 6 o'clock. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. And we have Bhagavatam class also again, followed by 8 o'clock.
His Grace Sumadhura Prabhuji ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.